Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel about IELTS prep. And this time we're going to talk about writing test 1, graph and diagram interpretations. As mentioned earlier in the previous episode that we are going, not me actually, I'm going to deliver this channel in full English because that's the minimum requirement if you're about to take the test preparation exam, particularly in IELTS. Okay, IELTS writing test 1. Without further ado, let's move on to the next slides. So this time we're going to talk about the general rules or tips on how to do writing test 1. And number 1 is that there are descriptions written in these slides. You will need to describe or explain diagram, table, chart, or graph, and one more map. This is what's going to happen in writing task 1, and you will need to write at least 150 words with no opinion, even though they are giving a topic that is related to your daily job. And then you have a better data and accurate, and you would like to present your opinion, please refrain yourself from sharing your opinion. Suggested writing time is 15 to 20 minutes, and actually in IELTS writing session, you will be having 1 hour session. They will give you 1 hour. However, in reality, there is going to be 2 writing tests, writing test 1 and writing test 2, and this one is supposed to be shorter than the next writing test 2. That's why 15-20 minutes max is important, so you can utilize or use the time afterwards to spend on writing test 2. We'll get to that later. Yeah. Okay, after that, grading criteria. I think it will be fair enough if you know what the examiner or what the testers expect from you. It's not about like and dislike. It's they do have a grading criteria. The first one is if coherence and cohesions, meaning what does that mean? Coherence, cohesion, when you try to write something, whether the idea is, no, the paragraph is connected from one to the another. Paragraph 1 connected to paragraph 2, paragraph 2 connected to paragraph 3. And the linking is smooth so people can understand it. It has logical meanings. So that's the purpose of coherence and cohesions. Lexical resource determines your range of vocabulary. In other words, it evaluates your vocabulary inventories, like inventories. Yeah. So how many words you know, whether you use it in a variety, different kinds of ways, or monotone. IELTS is going to examine that. Next in grading criteria is task, response, and achievement. What is that? It's referred to covering, addresses all the main points and task requirement, elaborating, subverting with the suitable examples. Or in other words, it's basically check whether you are actually answering the question given or not. Yeah, in a focused way. Sometimes there are people who look at the questions. I'll give you an example. If there is a question like, what do you think about living in Tokyo? And then you're supposed to tell them like living in Tokyo is it's nice because of that. It's I don't know. It's lively and anything. As long as you stick to the questions, you should be able to fulfill the task, response, and achievement. So it will be different if they ask you what's your experience of living in Tokyo, and you ended up explaining Naruto and Dragon Ball instead. Yeah, so that's way off the topic. Okay, next grading criteria is a grammatical range and accuracy. Basically, it's pretty much straight to the point, assess accurate usage and wide range of complex structures or sentences, grammar, whether you utilize simple, complex, or compound sentences and use it accordingly, and whether you use the proper tenses to explain some of the points asked in the questions. Next slide. Type of graphs. So how many graphs are supposed to be in the questions or not supposed to be going to be tested? Basically, there are few types. Mentioned in here will be pie chart, line graph, bar graph, process diagram, and table graph. So you will be seeing one of these in your tests later on. And make sure that you, make sure that you prepare yourself for any surprises and circumstances. Yeah, table graph. And another thing that I would like to mention in here, I forgot to mention in the first part, will be the map. Yeah, so in here sometimes they will give you a question about map, whether a map about the present and the future plans like the one mentioned in here, or about maps that contain present and the past, and then you have to compare uh, both maps and answer the question accordingly based on the four grading criteria mentioned above. Yeah, and the last type of graph would be a multiple graph. So they give you two types of graph, and then they wanted you to come up with a conclusion and a conclusion, comparisons and data analysis on both graphs. This one is a bit different than the other graph. I mean, the other graph mentioned above. Let me go up in here. It's pretty much straight to the point, and there is only one graph in each in one data in each of the graphs. So you need to compare one data and so on and so forth. But this one, multiple graph, this they will give you two different graphs to analyze. So it's a bit tricky. However, we are going to talk about that on how to do that. It's later on. It's not a lot of people has this. Or at least as far as I'm concerned, and as far during my teaching experience, it's quite rare for students to be given this kind of questions in multiple graph. But we'll talk about that. Yeah, if you so. Thank you for paying attention. Don't forget to keep this channel alive by like and subscribing down below. Or if you do have any comments or anything or concerns about materials in here or about my presentations or which one that is confusing to you, do let me know. I will try my best to reply to you. Yeah, I will try my best to reply. Thank you very much for paying attention again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And my name is Danny. I'll see you later in the next episode of To The Point IELTS. Bye-bye.